Hello, this is Raul Sanieli. I am just wanting to leave my best warm wishes to Andrew, the Hinkley Gooner, on his birthday. I didn't buy you a present because I lost my job and I didn't make much money whilst I was with Arsenal. I had a plan. I had a very good plan.
¡Vamos, hostia! ¡Vamos, hostia!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to From Dole Square to Where, the birthday issue. I'm the birthday boy. Yay! How exciting it is at our age to have birthdays all the time. Oh, yes, I stopped counting them at a certain age. So, as you can see, I'm joined by a special guest today, and that's Chappers. How are you, Chappers?
I'm all good, man. Happy birthday to you.
Chin Chin. How are you?
Chin Chin.
Thank you very much. I love you.
Sorry, 27 years old. Is that correct?
That's right. Absolutely. Yes. That's right.
Excellent. Excellent. So younger than
Loving
Nova.
your glasses.
Thanks very much, man. I usually only wear these if I'm bollocking some rookie Maverick cops or a 70s pornographic movie. But I thought, as it was your birthday, that I would, I'd bring them out tonight. And it's all I can see is the reflection, actually. But I'm quite digging it. Sort of.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
If I do doing this, then that's what I'm doing.
Well, you definitely look like you could be in like a Sabotage video from the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess when I bought them, that was the look I was trying to rock. Actually, I did have this.
Like it.
I did have this rather sort of fetching crushed velvet number that I used to sort of wear with it, but that has since fallen by the wayside, unfortunately.
Oh, definitely. Well, yeah. Actually, I could see that with like a lime green shirt and a brown suede suit or velvet suits, like you say.
Well, in fact, the suit jacket was actually green. It was a sort of more like a Lincoln green, I suppose you'd call it. But I don't know about you, but I thought it looked very fetching,
Definitely. Well, I used to have a Ford Capri back in the day, and it had obviously really long bonnets on Capris, as you know, and perfect for sliding across.
Oh well, I'm sure you became very adept. Did you ever actually sort of manage to? Do you ever actually use the doors, or did you go in through the windows?
Well, I was considering welding the doors shut and just using the windows, but
oh, why not?
Yeah, it's a little bit problematic. I thought so. No, I did actually use the door in the end, just for the MOT more than anything, I think. Hello, Winston.
That's fair. I mean, honestly, it's health and safety gone mad.
I know. It's so boring having to conform to modern society in lots of ways, unfortunately. But there you go. A stupid government make you have to pass these annual car inspections anyway. But yeah, tonight.
I would have run back in my day, man.
tonight, as I mentioned, I don't know if anyone saw the sort of ad I put up on Facebook, Twitter, about this evening's show. We've got nothing planned. We're just going to have a good old chinwag, aren't we, chappers?
Yes, indeed, man. Why not? And why not?
Not only is it my... Sorry, I was going to say, not only is it my birthday as well, it's also another very special day because guess, I suppose, the two of us have got an announcement for everyone as well.
Oh, yeah, right.
We're having a baby. No, actually, it's not that at all. Chappers, it's going to be the show's sort of permanent co-host, which is great news, isn't it, Chappers?
Yeah, man, I'm absolutely stoked for it. I'm really excited to get my teeth into it. And basically, what's the word I'm looking for here? Chew the fat with various panel members about all things Arsenal and maybe all things not Arsenal as well. Who knows?
Exactly. Who knows where the future lies? But we are clearly all part of the Gooner family, and that's what we chat about mostly on the show. But I am overall a football fan as well, so I will be more than happy to actually have fans of other clubs on further down the line as well, which will be quite interesting. Winston, he says the professionals had a Capri. Oh, I love the professionals. But you know what? I like the Minder as well, Winston. Did you used to watch Minder when they, at the beginning on title sequence, they sort of leant over and shook hands over the bonnet of the white Capri, which is one like I used to have.
Yeah. Did they not remake that in recent years, Minder? I do believe they didn't they.
It wasn't recent years, but it was a long time ago. They had that new Terry McCann character, didn't they?
That's right. Was he?
He was crap. Yeah, it finished after Dennis Waterman left.
Yeah, I mean they've done a few of those things, haven't they? I mean, with didn't they do something with Porridge fairly recent-ish, few years ago as well, where the guy was supposed to be like grandson or something, or.
TV since December 2017, apart from football matches.
That's maybe the way to go, man. There's so much. I mean, I don't know about you, mate, but I've absolutely sworn off the news. I can't bear it any longer. It's just too much.
I haven't listened to the news on a radio for months or anything. Like, I haven't had the radio on for months. I haven't had the TV on, like I said, apart from when football's on. So I just can't.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know about all this stuff. It does. I've blocked all the words on Twitter. I've blocked things, all political stuff. I've blocked today. I blocked Trump and Biden and election. I've had Brexit blocked for years, and all of the MPs' names, everything like that. I don't want to know. They're all. I mean, I could go on for hours on a podcast alone about politics, to be perfectly honest. But I just think they're all the same. It doesn't matter what party they say they stand for. They're all the same and just out for themselves. So what will be is my motto in life, I think.
Well, yeah, I think as our years advance, mate, we need to get a bit more out of them, don't we? You know what I mean? And like I say, it is. For me, I mean, look, if I want to know what the news is, then I can seek it out and find it. There's the internet now. So, but I think if I'm getting a constant stream of it, it just starts to weigh on you after a while. Or certainly for me anyway, just sort of, taps in there, and you find yourself just kind of feeling anxious about this or that, or and
exactly. Yeah.
Again, like I say, as our years advance, mate, I think I really want to get the best out of it, and I think spending my time thinking about that all the time is possibly time wasted, really, when you could be having.
Like you say, it's unnecessary anxiety that you can bring upon yourself, and if it's one thing you can do without at the moment, it's that in your life. So yeah, let's just move on from politics. But what I will say, anyone watching now live, because this is like a completely off-the-cuff show that we're doing tonight, we're just going to see where the conversation takes us. And if there's anything that you just pops into your head that you'd like us to talk about, or you like to sort of be involved in the conversation about, just stick a note, stick a comment in the box, and we can pick comments up as we're sort of rambling on this evening. But Winston's put said together about the professionals and Arthur Daly. I love Arthur Daly. They did Rock and Chips, a spin-off from Only Fools and Horses. That's right.
I remember that.
I remember that. When they were little, when they were young, weren't they?
It was not too bad. If I remember, it was.
No, it was all right.
Comedically, it was in a different. It was in a very sort of different place. You know, I mean, there was humour in it, but I think it was more kind of
sort of 60s or something, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it's when Del Boy was a kid. I think, and I don't think Rodney was in it as a kid. It was just Del Boy and his parents. I seem to remember.
Yeah.
And a few of the other characters that he was mates with. What's his name? Mickey.
Mickey Pierce was in it.
Yeah, and stuff, people like that. It weren't too bad. Well, I think it was set in the 60s or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, would have been. And of course, Nicholas Lyndhurst was in it, wasn't he? Because he played Freddie the Frog, who is obviously.
Yes, that's right.
Rodney's dad.
That's right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. That was. I thought it was going to be horrendous, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I want to go. Sorry, go on,
mate. I was just going to say, talking of 80s TV series, actually, I just wanted to kind of comment on. I'm doing a bit of landscape at the moment for a guy who I can only say he really looks like he should belong in an episode of Bergerac. Like his hair is just like. I mean, look, I'm not going to slag his barnet off because it's not a bad barnet, but it's certainly an anachronistic barnet, shall we say? You know, it belongs.
I know you're into your barnets.
Well, you know me. It's a minor obsession of mine, you know, there's not a day goes by. To be fair, here he is. All right, Tony. How you doing?
Birthday boy and Sean Penn. Tony.
He's gone with it, yeah. I haven't got the Sean Penns on tonight, actually, Tony. I think I put quite recently that I broke them, but my flatmate after a big struggle actually managed to get them back together again. So they only come out on very, very special occasions now. Usually when I want to pass myself off as Sean Penn, it's not worked yet, but you know, there's always a chance.
You never know. You never know. What's the guy's name? Jason Statham. I think I'm probably closest to. You know, with my shaved head and my beard.
Oh, but, yes.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, I was going to say something. But
I think more than anything, Andrew, it's your hard man image that is the thing that you know, that's the thing that really carries that Jason Statham comparison, I think.
Well, exactly. When you get to know me, yeah, you'll see that I'm probably about as hard as a blancmange. But yeah, it's good to have the tattoos and the sort of the slightly bigger build and the bald head because it does get you out of a bit of trouble.
I can imagine it does.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I do want to quickly touch on a couple. Let's touch on a couple of things.
Yeah.
Arsenal, because of the. I just think it's. I really restrained myself from going on Twitter for for a couple of days after the Liverpool game because I just didn't want to see the Twitter meltdown. And I mean, Liverpool are one of the best sides in the world, let alone Europe at the moment. In fact, they're reigning club world champions. And it just seems so stupid when considering the fact that we could have actually probably quite conceivably got a draw out the game, if not a win, because they should have been down to 10 men after a couple of minutes, shouldn't they? You know, we cut them open quite a few times in the second half, and could have got something much better out the game. And considering the players we've got on the field compared to what they had on the field, and considering the fact that team's been together for about 4 years when we've been together far less time under Arteta, I think we gave a fairly good account of ourselves. And one last thing I'll quickly point out as well is that people are making too much as well about the way we're setting up, and we're quite defensive. We're not having many shots, and so on. But he's getting the best out of the players that we've got. He can't play the football that he wants to play with the squad of players that we've given him at the moment. So it's not going to be like this forever. He's just getting good results, and it's the first defeat we've had in I think we had 9 wins on the trot. So we're not doing too bad, and I think the overreaction was a bit stupid.
I think the word that keeps cropping up, isn't it, is limitations. And we're all aware that we need to change the squad. We're all aware that that there are certainly two very very kind of big and wide-touted names that we're trying to get hold of to kind of bolster our midfield a little bit. But that's it. I mean, and as far as it's not just the players' limitations either. It's the limitations of the system that he's using at the moment. And that system's going to evolve. Of course it is. But at the moment, I think it is testament really to his coaching in the fact that he is getting the best out of each and every one of those players. They all want to play for him. They all buy in to the ethos and to the system, and they've moved with it, they're reaping the rewards, and they're getting results. And okay, so we lost to Liverpool. They were relentless the entire game, and even though we did give them. Certainly gave them a bit more of a fight in the second half. When they play like they were fucking up for it last. Was it last time?
They played.
They were fucking up for it, weren't they?
They played brilliantly, and you could see by the after-match comments from all the people on the Liverpool side of the equation were so happy with their performance, and they put in a great performance. And a few more comments here coming in. The Arsenal luchador, which I'm pretty sure is Stan the man anyway, but I'm not sure. Or probably I'm sure it is anyway.
Arsenal luchador.
Tony Turner says he doesn't have a doppelganger, so yes, unfortunate for that, Tony. I'm sure you have somewhere along the line. I think if we started to buy us, we would at least got a point potentially. He's calling. I mean, from all the way from Tijuana. It's funny that the Arsenal luchador actually knows who Dave Lee Travis is, But
he's very big over there. He's very big in Mexico, mate.
Well, it's like Norman Wisdom being massive in Albania, isn't it?
Terry Cornfleco. That's I think they call it over there. But all I can say is I don't know. Actually, like I've got some. I've got some recollection of Dave Lee Travis kind of having some not particularly.
It's like an even fatter Dickie Davis who used to do.
Well, I know who he was, but I'm certain didn't he have a little bit of trouble recently? Some allegations. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know.
It's probably Operation. I don't know whether it was maybe Operation Nutri or something like that. I don't know. Allegedly, I don't know. I'm making it up, but it might have been.
I think to be honest with you, I think he was there were some accusations which I think were deemed to be untrue. But DLT, I mean, I do remember him of a morning on Radio 1.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too. Tony says, I don't like how AMM was playing. More of a left back than a left wing back the first half. We looked better when we changed tactic. Well, I've got a theory on this, Tony, as well, and it's cropped up a few times in conversation over the last few weeks and maybe months about the type of coach that Arteta is, and people sort of instantly assumed that he was going to be, a mini Guardiola, having worked under him for so long. And I had thought, quite a while ago, quite early into his tenure, that he's got a bit of a mix of all the coaches that he's worked under, but he's also like a mixture between a Guardiola, a Wenger, but also more on the George Graham side of things as well. Very tactically astute. And the way I saw him set up for the Liverpool game was like the way George Graham set up for the Anfield game in '89, to completely contain them in the first half, and then score late, in the second half, later on in the second half, and get them panicking a little bit, and then score towards the end of the game. I thought it worked out a little bit similarly to that, in the way that we were trying to restrict them in how they played. But it didn't quite work, obviously, because Liverpool are a fantastic team. But we weren't that far off, coming out there with something. So I don't know what you think about that, but I really thought that he set the team up in a similar way to George Graham did in '89, because he went to three at the back for that game, if you remember, and we were trying to restrict them.
I think he's going into that game knowing that Liverpool, certainly after the Charity Shield, knowing that they're going to be up for it, and Mane absolutely demonstrated that within the 30 seconds, and then in the second minute by I think committing 2 fouls, which could very much have been a red card. I must admit, at the time, I thought to myself, maybe not. But having rewatched it a few times, this is just a fucking elbow, and it's an elbow in the face, isn't it?
I just think it looked obvious from the first moment. You saw it in real time.
Yeah. But anyway, I think Arteta knew that they were going to be up for it, and he went in there fairly conservatively. It was. I suppose it was quite a surprise to see El Neni in the starting lineup, but you can also see kind of why he put him there. And actually, El Neni, he did what El Neni does quite well, but unfortunately, doesn't offer that kind of dynamism which you require when you're playing against a team like Liverpool, and ultimately, I think in the first half anyway, that we were just not at the races with that. We didn't have any opportunity to kind of settle on the ball, sit on the ball, because their press was so high and so frantic and fast at us. So I can see why he set up the way that he did, but I'm a bit of a risk taker, and I would probably have set up. It's easy to say in sign height. I was surprised not to see Saka in there, to be honest. I thought that maybe he could have offered something. But
I'm hoping we see him tomorrow.
So yeah, absolutely. We're going to see quite a few faces tomorrow, aren't we?
I hope so. Yeah.
That's Sheffield United's a game that we really, really, really do have to win. And I get a feeling that tomorrow's match will be pretty much a very similar vibe to last year's, and hopefully we'll win.
I hope so. I think we'll just go toe to toe tomorrow. Like you said, hopefully might be a similar sort of score line, but not so many in our end. But I feel it's going to be that type of game, though. I think it's going to be a really open, quite an attacking game from both sides tomorrow. Completely different to what it was. Yeah, when you use younger players, which I'm sure we will do tomorrow, they're by nature, I think they're going to be out to impress and going to have less fear, less worry about making mistakes, and just go for it. And hopefully it'll be the same on both sides, and we can nick a win tomorrow. Because I'm sure Arteta wants to win every cup he goes into. He's that type of elite mentality. I never want Arsenal to lose a single game if we can help it. So yeah, fingers crossed we'll have a good high-scoring match tomorrow.
So whilst we're on that, then, or do you want to discuss? Do you want to discuss the forthcoming match in a bit and just kind of carry on?
Yeah, whatever. There's no rules. It's fast and loose today.
The only rules are there are no. Now, somebody in the comments will know what 80s film that is from. I actually can't remember at this point.
Do it again.
Really, really nice if somebody could do
it again.
Sorry.
Well, do it again. I missed it.
It says, I think it's something like the rules are there ain't no rules. Yeah, I might be rocking. Oh no, maybe not.
I know it from somewhere.
Yeah. Help us out in the comments, guys, because I've not got a clue.
It might come to me when probably I don't know, at 1:22 tomorrow afternoon or something like that. But
yeah, I had some weird fact from Grease 2, the film Grease 2, that I haven't thought about in about 20 years. I had some weird fact about that pop into my head about 3 days ago. I was like, oh yeah, that
happens to me, and it's really, really, really strange. And I have premonitions about things that happen very, very shortly after.
Yeah.
So, or I think about someone, that was on the telly when I was a kid or a teenager, and never heard of since. And then I'll have a thought about them, and then they come up in the news somehow the next day or two. It's really, really strange.
I love that.
I don't know. When lots of the bands like these, 90s bands started getting back together and touring again and recording again over the last few years, I've sort of had thoughts about that and actually talked to people about it before it actually happened and before it was even announced. It's really strange. I don't know. I must have some kind of gift.
On that point, actually, you are gifted beyond compare, my friend.
Oh, thank you. I won't disagree, but carry on. I'm joking.
on that note, here's the thing. This literally popped up as I was coming up the stairs. It was Grease. Yes.
Yeah, so what Winston's saying. Oh, hello. That's a bit strange. I didn't actually foresee that happening, so that's a bit odd. Where are we? Hang on.
We're back.
Yeah, I've got you back. You're in the darkness. Oh, there you are. Here you are, back.
I'm back. Yeah,
yes, you are
back. Sorry about that. Yes, the rules are there ain't no rules. Thank you, 95 Winston. That's right. After just before they had the drag race, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah. Thunder Road.
Excellent. So, yes, on the subject of 90s bands, literally just coming up the stairs earlier, I had the thought, and I thought I've got to ask Andrew this: who wins in a fight out of the Manic Street Preachers and the Stereophonics?
Oh, they're both a bit.
Because obviously, because I've got some theories about this.
Mind you, I think even before Richie went missing, I don't think I wouldn't put him down as sort of a pretty hard nut either. I don't think any. I would say probably Kelly is a bit potentially a bit harder than James Dean Bradfield.
Potentially, yeah.
I would say Stereophonics.
A little bit more. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a fair comment. I mean, that I would say is probably a logical conclusion.
I think
to who would.
I can't see any of them being a good, pretty hard, pretty handy with their fists.
I think, I think that I think the Stereophonics are more likely to have played rugby in their youth than the Manic Street Preachers, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I maintain that Nicky Wire could have all of them on his own because he's mad. He's a
bit gangly, a bit sort of.
He's a big lad. He's a very tall, but he's your wild card right there. I've seen him a few times, Nicky Wire, man. He's unstoppable.
Yeah, I've seen him a few times. Yeah.
But do you not think that Nicky Wire?
Do you know where do you think the name of my podcast is a parody of?
Oh, of course, yeah, of course, absolutely. I mean,
Exactly.
it's one of my favourite Manic songs, that one, you know.
It's and mine, yeah, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
From Despair to Where. Great tune. But what we can do is ask Bernard Butler when he comes back on in a week or two. He's coming back on very shortly.
Yes. Yeah, man.
Get his opinion.
Yeah. I think, you know,
Legend.
We're here for the really hot takes, aren't we, you know?
Exactly, but yeah, no, I texted him earlier, and he's going to come on in the next couple. Going to give me a date in the next couple of weeks, so that's be good.
That's brilliant, man. I did. I watched. Did watch the last one with Bernard. Actually, that was Mesut Island. Was it Mesut Island? This was the last one that you did.
Yeah, exactly. It was, and yeah, we had Francis Leach was on it as well, and who was the other one? Tayo Papula from brilliant, absolutely great show. What a show that was! Yeah, one of my favourites. Definitely that was. Who is the hardest band you reckon from the 90s?
The hardest band? Well,
let's narrow it down a little bit to the hardest Britpop band.
Well, I mean, like, I suppose I see. A lot of people would say Oasis, but I think they're all kind of mouth, though, aren't they?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they're all mouth. So. I think when it came down to it, I
reckon Jarvis Cocker could have Liam Gallagher.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, with those Winkle, I reckon being brought up in Sheffield and with those Winkle pickers on, he must have been bullied to within an inch of his life when he was a kid.
True.
I reckon he could handle himself, and I don't think he'd fight in normal ways, but I reckon he would do anything to play dirty and bite and kick you straight in the balls before you have a chance to do anything with the Winkle pickers on.
Yeah, the most dangerous weapon is your brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he's a smart guy.
Yeah, I reckon he could handle himself. I reckon he's more from the streets than either of the Gallagher brothers put together.
I will say, I've seen Graham Coxon getting thrown out of a pub before, and he's put up one hell of a fight.
Oh, really? Oh, I like Graham Coxon. I loved that. I was always more. I love both Blur and Oasis.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have to choose which one. But I was always slightly, on the Blur side personally. I saw them at Milton Keynes Bowl once, and they were supporting REM.
Oh, right.
That was a brilliant gig, that was. And I used to go to a club in London called the Borderline, which is on Charing Cross Road.
Yeah, a great venue.
Oh, so good. And I was there pretty much every weekend. And I saw Blur there. Literally, I know people say this, but before they were famous, really. I'd heard of them a little bit. I think Leisure was just about. It hadn't been released yet. He's gone again. But I saw Blur in front of about. Hang on.
I'm coming.
You're back again. Yeah, I saw Blur in front of about 100 people. I think it is. It was great.
Oh, wow.
It was just, before Leisure was actually released.
Yeah,
really good. Yeah. Also, I my cousin, who was my best mate at the time, he went to Manchester University for several years, and I spent a lot of weekends up in Manchester as well in the 90s, which was, as you can imagine, really good. And so I bumped we walked down the road on the way to a pub or gig or something, and out of this sort of door, sort of like a metal door on the back of this building, out of nowhere, staggers like Bobby Gillespie. And it was so surreal, and ended up saying, it's literally I can't believe my reaction. I was really cool, actually. I don't know what was on at the time, but I just looked at him and I said, "All right, Bobby," and he looked at me and went, "You all right, boys?" And we ended up chatting to him for probably 10-15 minutes, and I don't think there's many better frontmen in in any genre of any kind of music. He's such a good front man, Bobby Gillespie.
I've seen Bobby Gillespie in a very different situation, actually, many moons ago. So it was the year that the Stone Roses was supposed to play Glastonbury. And
that's the one I went to. I went to that one, and Pulp took their place.
Yeah, that's right. So they didn't play Glastonbury that year, but because John Squire broke his hand. But what they did,
he fell off his BMX. He fell off his BMX and broke his collarbone.
Yeah, that's right. He did. And but they did play the Pilton Pie, which is like a thing that Michael Eavis holds at the sort of end of August to kind of say thank you to the village, and he always gets a good band to play. And nobody knew that the Stone Roses were going to play, but the Stone Roses fucking played at the Pilton Party, like fairly. I mean, I guess a few people must have known because it was more busy than usual. But there were some people in front of us, kind of making a bit of noise, and they were clearly like inebriated somewhere along the line. I don't know what they'd ingested, but. And there was this skinny guy, and there was a quality. Every now and again, there was a quality street rapper on the floor, or something like that, like a sweet rapper, and he just kept grabbing this magazine and whacking this sweet rapper. And I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And he did it about 2 or 3 times, and somebody went, "That's Bobby Gillespie." And I'm like, fucking it is. And he did this like and one of his mates, what are you doing? And he went, it's fucking fire, I'm trying to put his fucking fire in. I thought this red quality was a fire.
He was I think he was out of his box for most of the 90s.
May have been on some sort of hallucinogenic. I wouldn't know.
Oh yeah, well, I've never.
Psychoactive drug.
Well, it certainly put paid to any chance I had of doing anything with my life in the 90s. I think, I reckon. But anyway, I reckon because I've lost a lot of my hearing from the 90s because I'm always asking people, sorry, what? Hey?
Yeah.
And it's because of all the gigs I went to. I can guarantee it, and I can almost pinpoint. Most of my damage came from that Glastonbury you mentioned.
Yeah.
My hearing wise, and I was always at the very front of all the gigs, and I had really sharp elbows, and I just got right to the front. In front, Oasis, Liam, like less than 10 foot away from me at the edge of the stage. Same with everyone else. And the worst, well, not the worst one. It's a great gig, but I was right at the front for Cypress Hill.
Oh, yeah, nice.
The speakers on the side of the stage were as big as like a normal semi-detached house, and I was right in front of one of the speakers. And honestly, I've never known anything like it. The vibrations of these speakers were making me just literally vibrate and move around on the floor like this. And as it was like there was a proper big. It was altering my heartbeat. It was mental. It's my heart was actually beating because of the way how loud it was. And I reckon, I remember I couldn't hear properly for 2 or 3 days after Glastonbury had finished, and I reckon I got a lot of ear damage around that sort of time in my life because I never went a month without seeing probably at least 2 gigs, I'd say, a month. I just love, and I love it, and I still do. And I had a couple booked up for this year that had to be cancelled, and always, I still love going to gigs, and music is probably just as much of my life as football in lots of ways. But I miss it as well. Miss going out to see live music.
Hello, hello?
Yes,
No,
I can hear you.
all right. That's all right. That's okay. That's fine. No, I was just doing a weird thing, and I got a weird sort of feedbacky thing. Okay. No, we're all good. We're all good.
I went to see The Prodigy just before Keith Flint died.
Oh,
It was
did
really
you
sad.
really?
About a month before he died, I saw them in Nottingham. Yeah, it was heartbreaking. I still can't quite believe it. We spoke just before we came on air, didn't we, about having a discussion surrounding something that's sort of close to my heart, and I know it's sort of close to your heart as well. And that really brings it home when you talk about Keith Flint. And the thing I'm talking about, of course, is like, mental health and how dangerous it can be. And I think what I mentioned to you is that we should do a specific show around that, because I know that I've got, a lot to say on the subject. I've been suffering quite badly for many years now, but it's been, I've suffered. I'm not going to go into it all, but this is just a bit of a feeder into the show that we can do separately. But I've suffered for about sort of 16 years now with mental health problems, and all I can say is that it's like I've never been, luckily, touch wood, an alcoholic or anything like that. But they say once you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic, but you're always in recovery. And I think the way I feel at the moment, because of the length of time I've been suffering with my mental health issues, it's quite similar in the fact that it's just up and down. It has been all the time, but probably the last 3 or 4 months or so, it's been, at its height, at it's worst. So it's something I'd like to sort of take a bit more deeper dive into, because the whole situation, things are going round at the moment in the world, let alone my life. But my life is it's not in a great place at the moment. I mean, I think it would help me to open up a bit more and talk to you guys about it, and hopefully, some people might be able to learn a little bit out of it as well. And if I can, help one person, then I think it's worth doing. So
I agree,
we should definitely get that booked in the next few days if we can.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think, it's a really important thing, and the thing is, like, obviously we come from, well, first of all, like, you and I are of a similar age, and we come from a culture that really was not amazing at discussing their feelings. I mean, I mentioned to you earlier that like my dad, 77 years old, just been diagnosed with depression. And like that was a massive shock, massive surprise to me as well, and like like I think as well, just with the whole like football with football culture, there is that kind of that stigma of kind of the lads, and we're a man, I'm a man,
Absolutely.
I don't want to bother anyone, or do you know what I mean? I mean,
Richie, stiff upper lip.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many stigmas involved within that, and within football culture as well, that I think, and I think that it is, time for a bit of a change in the way that we look at these things, and the way that, I mean, a really prime example of that actually is when you look at it was pretty much a year ago actually, wasn't it, with Granit Xhaka. So this, I mean, all right, the guy wasn't playing very well, and he was kind of basically made a scapegoat for Unai Emery's managerial ineptitude, if you want to call it that. And he ended up having like death threats against his family, and like, I mean, I don't care who you are, I don't care how much money you earn, like, that kind of shit is gonna affect you up there. And when it comes down to it, I mean, football's not just a game about athleticism and about physicality, but it's also about it's about focus and about being clear in your head. And
so glad you said that, because so many people are very, very quick to jump on people as soon as they are not playing like prime Ronaldo on the pitch. And the person I feel sorry for at the moment is, and I've got no background knowledge on this at all, and I'm not suggesting that this guy is suffering with what we're talking about, but we don't know. And the people are going on Pepe's back a lot lately, and it's so easy to just to say, oh, just not performing. It's just out of form. Just can't, or he can't play in the Premier League. He's not up to this, not up to that. Blah blah blah. And we don't step back to think about these people as human beings, and that they can be suffering with just the same panic attacks and anxiety. Like Tony Turner's put a message on there. I know how it goes, because with this horrible anxiety and panic attacks.
Yeah.
And Winston, 95 Winston, says no one is immune from that, and it'd be a good topic to cover. Because I really appreciate that feedback, you guys. But we don't know whether Pepe could be suffering quite badly with that, and it's stopping him from settling into the UK, and we just don't know, do we? So I think we just need to remember that no matter what you earn, no matter what you do, no matter where you are in life, where you live,
who you are,
you know what your sexuality is, what's the color of your skin, and blah blah blah. We can all suffer from this horrible affliction, and it's one of the worst. It's one of the worst things you suffer from, in my opinion, because it's debilitating in so many ways. And it's more than ever at the moment with this COVID situation and being locked up and not being able to live your life normally. Like we were hoping to get together at the weekend, weren't we? And we were unsure about whether we can because of the COVID situation and the restrictions and so on. And it's just so bad. And that sort of thing is going to be happening to millions of people up and down the country. There's going to be hundreds of thousands of elderly people that are all on their own at the moment because they can't get their family to come and visit them and stuff. And in this day and age, it's more important than ever, I think, to remember that this is a situation, and be mindful of the fact that people could be suffering in silence and they don't want to say anything. And I just think it's so important to check up on people and be a friend to people, even if you don't know what they're feeling at the moment, because they're going to come open up to you. And just, if you haven't spoken to someone for quite a long time, just pick up the phone and give them a call, or send them a text, in fact, because I know that it's difficult sometimes, and I know I personally feel like this, that when I'm in a particular moment, I don't want to talk on the phone. I just don't want to do it, and I prefer to text, and I'd be quite happy to open up on text. So just do that to one of your friends that you haven't spoken to for a long time, and just make sure they're all right. And I think that's very, very important. And I think because you can't always tell what's going on behind someone's closed eyelids, and you
never know. You never know.
It's important, and so what I said before anyway, and I want to let's end it there and move on to something else, because I want to make this a topic that we can have a whole show on, and we'll do it very soon, as soon as we can. We'll have a chat when this show's finished and see if we can get our diaries together. But I think that's an important subject, and it's something I want to talk a lot more about. But so moving on, you had a little bit of an idea for the show before.
You know what? I did have a bit of an idea for the show.
The old topic of the very famous, something that people have been doing for ages, and because it's my birthday, and we'll just do like a a fantasy Arsenal birthday party and who will be your guests, etc. Let's have a go around that. Let's say
I've got a few things.
Go on, I'll leave it over to you. Go on.
Okay. Well, what I was going to. Okay, so here we go. So I think right, we could go with current squad, or we could go with whoever, any Arsenal player or affiliate of Arsenal that you wanted. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'd say that. I'd say anyone from history.
Arsenal affiliate. Okay. So Andrew, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, mate. Happy Arsenal birthday. And I've thrown for you a special Arsenal birthday party. Okay. So everybody that you want to be there will be there. Okay. But what I've done is I've got together a few little categories. So I just want you to tell me who you think fits that particular category best, and why they would. So you've got your Arsenal party happening, right? Hang on, I'm just gonna have to get this.
Agreed, Winston.
My computer is so slow. So we're gonna go number one with who's your party DJ? Who's your Arsenal party DJ, and why is that?
Oh, it's definitely and well, there's quite a few famous DJs that are Arsenal fans. Funnily enough.
Yeah.
But the one for me has got to be Tayo, who was on my show before. I just love that podcast, the Tuesday Club with Alan Davis and all the rest of the gang. I think it's hilarious, and I'd love to have a good chat with Tayo. But there's a number of them. Like I said, sorry, go on.
What tunes is he spinning?
He is going to be spinning a lot of stuff from what I call my era, from the 90s. I think. I mean, I like is my music taste. I've never met anyone that's got such a random music taste as I actually have, and a lot of people say, "Oh, I like all sorts of stuff," and then you say, "Oh, do you like these?" "Oh, no, I don't like them." "Oh, do you like these?" "Oh, I don't like them." But I genuinely, I've got such an eclectic music taste. I like things from, old school hip hop to Britpop and the indie music and rock music. I even like some real heavy stuff, like a bit of Anthrax. There's a couple of Anthrax tracks I like that they did with Run DMC. No, was it NWA? NWA they did. But I also like Johnny Cash, and I like real, proper house music and dance music from the 90s as well.
Getting my right now, mate. So I'll be on the floor all night.
Prodigy, Prodigy, and really weird. Carter, the Unstoppable Sex Machine.
Mate, they're on radio today.
Look, I got this today. Hang on. I've got this arrive on the post. Jim Bob's new vinyl.
Nice. That's amazing.
Jim Bob, the lead singer, he's got his own solo stuff. I love Carter, the Unstoppable Sex Machine. I love the Charlatans and Blur and Pulp and all that sort of stuff as well. And Suede, exactly. With my mate Bernard, BB. I went to, when I was younger, I was 18, 19. The girl I was with at the time, her dad was a massive country music fan. And when we got together, me and his daughter, we would both had our birthdays around the same time. And I was just coming up to my 18th birthday. And as it turns out, US Airlines, I think it was, or whatever, started flying from Gatwick straight to Nashville. And it was a new route. So he treated us for both of our 18th birthdays, for him and his wife and me and my girlfriend at the time, to go over there to Nashville, Memphis, New Orleans, and just generally around sort of that area of the southern parts of the States. And absolutely brilliant. Went to Graceland and went to BB King's Blues Bar on Beale Street in Memphis, and went to sort of all these cool bars in New Orleans and listened to all the sort of the blues music. It was immense, you know. And we went to the Grand Ole Opry, which is like a famous country music thing where they have every weekend, and you don't know who's going to be on the stage. It could be one of the world's biggest stars or up and coming, you know, country stuff, and even parts of like the country music that I heard then, and especially the blues. I love, you know, I really got into John Lee Hooker and stuff like that, you know, when I was over there, and Howling Wolf, and you know, things like Smokestack Lightning and things like that. So my music taste is so weird, so random, so varied. I think if it's good, it's good, and it doesn't matter what genre it comes from. And yeah, one of my favourite.
I'm with you on that, mate. I'm with you on that.
One of my favourite bands at the moment. Well, you can't call it a band, but one of my favourites at the moment is drum and bass, because that's one of my, you know, I can always listen to drum and bass, and I find that a lot of drum and bass music, which sounds really weird, is really relaxing. And one of the best I have come across, which if you haven't heard them, listen to some of their tracks, and they're called Hybrid Minds, and they've got a track called Wasted, right? And it was on recommended to me on Spotify. And I listened to that track, and I was like, oh, and I haven't had that feeling for ages about a song and the track, and it's just like, oh my god, that is so good. And I listened to it for an hour on repeat. I know, you know, you can click that little button on Spotify, and I think because it, like, the way it sort of comes in and then goes out at the end, it's perfectly matched, so you can listen to it on loop.
Yeah.
And it's I've never felt that emotion about a song, just one tune, for years, literally. And so it's a drum and bass track, but it's very, very relaxing. And when you listen to it, you'll understand what I mean. So yeah, Wasted by Hybrid Minds. Listen to that as well.
I've just put it on my little list. I've just put it on my list.
Definitely. But yeah, I love that sort of music as well, and I love General Levy. I went to see him not last year, the year before.
What's that tune?
I like Rebel MC.
Oh,
incredible.
Oh, what's the tune?
It's called the one Incredible.
Oh, Incredible, yeah. Featuring MC. What was his name?
It was M-Beat featuring General Levy.
Yes.
And I love Rebel MC, who actually changed his name to Congo Natty. Further down the line, and great. Anyway, yeah, that's a very potted history of my music sort of background.
Fun fact about Rebel MC, I don't know if you knew this. He is married to Page 3 girl Maria Whittaker.
Oh, is he? Really? I didn't know that. No.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there you go.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Moving on then. So we've got Tayo DJing.
Tayo Papula.
A wholly eclectic mix going on there. So at your Arsenal party, who is serving the drinks? Who's serving the drinks?
I am going to choose who Winston has just said on the chat there. Ray Parler.
Yeah, that's
serving the drinks.
Yes,
because I would want the drinks to be served regularly.
Yeah,
and I would love to have chats with Ray Parler on regular occasions throughout the evening, because I think it's hilarious.
Have you seen his Cobra Bomb video?
I've seen a few of them. He's always drinking. It might be the one. I'm not sure.
Well, you know, like Jaeger bombs with Red Bull. So he's basically out on his patio doing a Jaeger bombs, but instead of Red Bull, it's Cobra. So that's his thing, Cobra bombs. But that would be nice.
No, I don't think I have seen that one actually. But he's always topless. Like he looks like he could still play.
how on earth, like, you know, I mean, he clearly knows how to party, that guy, but like he's in proper shape, isn't he?
Definitely, I know, it really is. But yeah, it'd be a right laugh. I'm listening to his audio book at the moment on Audible as well. It's really good. So yeah, definitely Ray Parlour.
Ray Parlour's a good shout. Yeah, I couldn't think of anyone else. All right, so who's the first then? This will be an interesting one. Who is the first at your party to start a fight? Who starts
a fight?
Yeah.
I
mean, I could think of one of recent years, but I don't know if if that would be the.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I wouldn't want him there. I know who you're thinking of. You're thinking of Gwendouzi, aren't you?
No.
Oh, weren't you?
I'm thinking of somebody who sent a couple of people packing recently outside his mate's car.
Oh, Klassenach. No, I think he's a lover, not a fighter. If he's pushed into a corner, then he won't want to hurt his baby.
No,
you don't want to back baby into the corner. But I reckon I don't think he'd be out there to start a fight. He's not like
no. I think you're probably.
He seems like a bit of a gentle giant to me. I would say it would be someone who got that rat ass that they just back into someone and knock the drink over them and they'll start a fight that way.
Yeah.
I would say someone like Carnu. Because he's got size 15 feet. Yeah. And I reckon he'll be really clumsy. And I reckon he'd like.
That makes sense. It's going to be busy, isn't it?
Yeah. Good evening, Russ. Thanks for joining us. Yes, we're having a fantasy birthday party, Russ, if you've just joined us. And so far, we've got Tayo Papulo, who's going to be the DJ from the Tuesday Club podcast. We've got Ray Parlour serving the drinks. And the first person to cause a fight, which is strange, but I think it would be Carnu. Because he'd be clumsy, he's got size 15 feet, he'll get pissed, and he would knock someone's drink all over their nice, crisp shirt.
Or perhaps even, oh God, yeah, that's who I mean. So perhaps even Carnu and Sonogo collide, because Sonogo was a little bit like that as well, wasn't he? It was a little.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Certainly didn't have the skill or the finishing of Carnu, but certainly had that kind of gangly, gawky sort of vibe.
Yeah, actually, another one that would cause a fight. Nicholas Bentner with his attitude, arrogance. In fact, I would punch Nicholas Bentner and start the fight because of the way he is. I'd punch him straight in the face, and actually, that's quite That's probably the first thing that would happen before Carnu.
I just the picture all I've got is the picture in my head of him on that night out with his sort of trousers halfway down.
Oh God, yeah, with his Paddy Power pants.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes. Okay. So I'll tell you what. Then let's move on to the next one.
People who are watching, put your choices in the comments as well. Please join in. Please join into my birthday party.
If you agree or disagree.
Exactly. Yeah, and put your choices in. Winston was just going to suggest Bentner. Yeah, he'll be so. Can you imagine how pompous and arrogant he'll be after a few drinks? Oh my God.
Lord Bentner. So
he's got a book coming out this same sort of time as Wenger, which is in a couple of weeks, isn't he?
Has he really?
I can't wait for Wenger's book's coming out in a couple of weeks. Yeah, can't wait. I've ordered the signed copy I've got coming.
Have you got it on pre-order yet?
Yeah.
Nice.
Have you?
No, I didn't even know it was coming out. I knew that he was working on a book and it was imminent. But
are you mad? How could you have stayed away from that? How do you not know that?
All I can say is I'm ordering up my copy tomorrow, mate.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the download as well, the Audible version as well, if it's available on the day.
Do you think it would be read by him?
That
That would be amazing, though.
That would be amazing. I'd love to have his dulcet tones in my ear rolls for a few hours.
In his own words, that would be. That would be.
Oh yeah, Russ Morgan's put Anelka would start a fight as well. That's a good shout.
Listen,
he's like too. Oh yeah, I don't want to be here. Too cool for school, man. No, and his brother. Yeah, good shout. Good shout, Russ. Right, what's the next category?
Next category. Okay, so the next category is the first one to get kicked out of your party. Now you can kick them out for whatever reason you want to. Okay, you know, they could be being too sleazy. They could be being a bit aggro. It's up to you. You're like, who's the one that you're going to kick out? You know, who's the one that I actually? All right, you're at the party, but actually, I don't really want you here. No, you can get out. Who's that?
It would either be. I wouldn't want them to be there in the first place, but if they decided to turn up, it would be Gazidis or Raul. Or
Raul might actually be a bit of a party man, you know. I mean, I know.
I hate him. He may well be a bit of a. Yeah, but I got a plan. I got a really good plan.
No, Russ has quite rightly pointed out that Bentner loved getting kicked out of nightclubs.
Oh, Ozil was a good shout there by Carrie. Sorry, I've got my glasses on. Carrie Tanninen. Well done. Yeah, good shout, Carrie. And Guendouzi. Yeah, I mean, Guendouzi, he's the one I mentioned just a few minutes ago when he said about starting a fight, and I said I wouldn't want him to be there anyway. Yeah. They would have to be out on their area. The way that they are treating our club, no, not good enough.
I mean, they have been identified as bad apples now, and actually, to be fair, Kolasinac would be the bad. So you're right, Russ.
Yes, definitely, 100%.
Yes, he's exactly who you want at the door, right?
Okay. Exactly, and I would actually, after the party's finished, I would just keep him on in that role if we don't manage to get rid of him in the transfer window as well.
Yeah, he might have a sort of another paycheck somewhere that he might have to cash in instead.
If we can, if it's rumoured and it's true that we're going to get 10 or 12 million for him plus add-ons, that's amazing. I mean, Edu would be the new Don, 100%.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, we got Kolasinac for free.
I know.
You know what, I'm not going to slag the guy because actually,
no, he's just not been good enough. And
we've been talking about that. We use that word again, don't we? Limited. And I don't think it. You know, he's one that necessarily fits into the system. He certainly hasn't got the ball skill I think required to play at that higher tempo and to be that provider down the wings, you know. But he's always been a great servant to the club, great servant to Ozil, you know. And I mean, like I say, we got him on a free. Apparently, he's on about 100 grand a week. If we're getting the sort of fee that we're rumoured to be getting, then I'm all in for that one. All in for that.
Definitely, yeah. And like Winston said, Cola, Papa, the bouncers, yeah, 100%. And
yeah,
Papa and Cola and Papa sounds like a bit of a, don't know, can make a business out of that.
They could. There's some sort of restaurant where
Papa Cola, yeah, Papa Cola pizza.
Yeah, why not? Why not? You know,
Willian and David Luiz have got a restaurant together, haven't they?
Yes, they have. That's
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, they could open up their own one. Like Lucas Podolski's got his kebab shops, hasn't he? So Lucas Podolski kebab shops.
Is this a real thing? Is it?
No, that's true. That's true. He's got a chain of kebab shops.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that. I'm not
Papa Cola kebabs. Sorry,
not got a bad word to say about that guy, Podolski.
No, he's a good lad.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So I'm gonna move it on because you've actually seed quite nicely into that. So who's the life and soul of your Arsenal party? Who is it?
I think it's gonna have to say this the same answer as before. Well, definitely two honourable mentions of two I've already said.
Yeah.
Ray Parlour and Carnu.
Yeah.
I just think Carnu, he's always smiling, wouldn't he? Eboué.
Absolutely.
Eboué, who he would be.
Oh,
I am
I'm so
Eboué.
glad you said that.
He would come in and jump up and do the splits like he did when he came out the tunnel that time.
Yes, right. You know Eboué.
Definitely. I think and Carnu, I just think he would be just really happy all the time. I think I'd really like. I love Carnu. Who else would be the life and soul? For the wrong reasons, Emery, because of the way he'd just be standing around trying to do little small talk, and everyone would just be laughing at him.
Well, hang on. You hang on to that. Just hang on to that one for a second, mate. Hang on to that one. All right, hang on to that one for a minute.
Russ has put, who's bringing the birds?
Who's bringing the birds? That's interesting. It's probably Giroud, isn't it?
That's another one that would be Lord Bentner as well. Lord Bentner.
Oh yes, true.
Yeah, I have to think about who's like the young and single type. I've got to be one that are really cool, younger, single, unattached, multi-millionaires.
Who was the lad that? Oh my God, he did a brilliant interview, not that long ago. Dutch guy, Dutch lad, never quite made it because he was just going out all the time. Glenn Helder.
Oh, Glenn Helder. Oh yeah, with the soul glow hair.
Yeah, Glenn Helder's doing the birds.
Well, he's a stand-up comedian, and and he does something else. Stand-up comedian, and he's the DJ or TV.
He does some sort of initiative in Holland that essentially is kind of encouraging kids to kind of sort of stay focused and stay on the straight and narrow. I think it definitely does some sort of educational initiative. I'm sure of it.
A big personality. Yes, he's a really nice guy.
And he did essentially say, the reason I didn't make it at Arsenal is because I just wanted to go out all the time, and like a couple of people had a word with him and said, you really should kind of focus. He was like, there was he was saying like all the other guys were like all family men but after the match on Saturday, I just wanted to go out,
Yeah. Also, I mean, God, the first person really that would bring all the babes is Thierry Henry as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's just the coolest guy out there, and Bobby Perez probably.
Yes.
Louise and William's restaurant is called Babbo. Thanks, Winston. Tony Adams went out with Caprice. That was right. I remember that.
I wonder what happened. Wonder what she's up to.
She could bring
That's
a few.
Very 90s reference, isn't it?
Proper 90s. That is. Like Donna Air.
Yeah. Yes.
And Danny Bear. Danny Bear.
I don't know about Danny Bear, but I know that Donna Air, she married into the Aspinall family, who are like
the cider family.
Like, the what?
The people that make cider.
No, that's Aspinalls. No, Aspinalls. That's what I don't know any cider outside of Somerset, mate. Sorry, mate. Don't know it. Sorry. Don't know it. If ain't Somerset, you're drinking, is it?
I'm drinking.
What you want? Oh, right. Oh, you're in the Sweden, are you?
Kopparberg.
Oh, you on the Sweden, are you? Okay. Right, okay.
In Sweden.
If it ain't brewed with a dead rat, mate, I ain't interested. All right. But I've completely forgotten what I was talking about now.
Caprice, I think, wasn't it?
Caprice. Oh no. Sorry, yeah, Donna Air. No, she married Damien Aspinall, who is. They've got like a safari park somewhere. They're like landed gentry, basically. So I think she's doing all right since the days of Biker Grove. I think she's.
Yeah.
I think she's all right. I mean, let's not worry. Don't worry. There's no need to put out a crowdfunder for her just yet. I think she'll be okay.
Yeah. So I think we'll be all right for the ladies. So what's the next category?
Yes, indeed. Oh, so the next category was after the life control. Who's the party bore?
The party bore.
Who's the party bore? Who's the one that's just boring the pants off everyone?
Wow, that's a tough one because, in fact, to say it's a tough one for me, it probably wouldn't be. The one person you've got to say you'd have nothing really in common with, or apart from the fact that he technically plays for Arsenal at the moment, it'd probably be someone like Guendouzi or something like that, because he would just be into it. Just be, it's Snapchat and all that stuff, and into. Yeah, I just think he would be so boring. I don't think he'd have anything interesting to say. He's dull, but because he would have nothing in common, and I just think he would be irritating, really irritating. But mind you,
I think there's a lot of candidates, mate. There are a lot of candidates.
Yeah, I know.
Like I have to say,
I could see someone himself.
Go on. Sorry, I was going to say, I mean, even just in the squad alone, all right. I look at Granit Xhaka's face, and I can't imagine having an interesting conversation with that man. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's clearly very focused on his football. And
see, the only thing about that is that you could talk about because he's got so many more years of playing under his belt.
Yeah,
you could talk about the players he's played with and the managers he worked with and the ins and outs of the clubs he's played for, so that you can get some conversation out of him. But because someone like Guendouzi hasn't got that background, in terms of longevity of playing career, I don't think you get that from him either. So
there's been a couple of excellent shouts in the comments here. Tony has said it's Socrates.
That would be a shout. He doesn't even smile, does he? He can't smile. That bloke. That's a good shout, Tony.
Yeah.
And Ozil with his Minecrafts is rough. I know you, Socrates. I know. Who do you reckon would be the dealer on the night?
See, I actually think that would be Guendouzi.
Actually, that's a really good point.
He'd be bringing in the gas. He'd be bringing in the nitrous oxide.
Yeah, he'd bring in the Charlie. He'd let everyone know. Charlie and pills, wouldn't he? Definitely.
Yeah, he would absolutely make sure, like every bad drug dealer ever, that everyone knew.
He would. Yeah, Merce as well. I don't know about Merce. I reckon he'd just be on the lager. I don't know if he'd have anything else, would he? Yeah, he would be a good time boy. Lacazette. Oh, that's a good shout. A really good shout, Lacazette. Yeah, I could see that. Definitely. Yeah, I think either of those two will be quite good because they'll be lording it up. They'll just be throwing bags of it around, like, because they've got so much money, wouldn't they? And
oh yes, Lacquer, of course. Lacquer would be posting it on Snapchat, wouldn't he? Or Instagram or whatever.
Exactly. And the laughing gas. I mean, Aubameyang would be inhaling that all night and just be doing his laugh all the time. all night. He just wouldn't stop doing that, would he?
It's very infectious. I have to say, it's got shades of Eddie Murphy from Beverly Hills Cop. You know.
Oh yeah, but it's like a few octaves higher, but definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so going to bring you on to the last of the. So, who is the most? Well, I suppose actually this is a.
Can I just say, if this is the last one,
yeah,
can you, everyone that's watching, if you want to chuck a few more in there, whilst we're answering this one,
yes, that'd
be great.
That's a good idea. Oh, actually, have I done? No, I don't think I have. I don't think I've done this one. So, who is the most wasted person at the party? They're the one, like, you go to parties and like they're the person that is like 0 to 60 in seconds, and they're all over the show. They're, you know, knocking shit over, falling into the DJ, knocking the food on the floor, all that stuff. Who's that?
Well, Mercer's got to be out right up there, and yeah, obviously in Ray as well, like Russ has said. Trying to, I reckon, would someone really. You don't look. If you look at him, you think that you'd be the last person to go out on a night out and to a party, not able to handle their drink. That's the thing. And someone like Alex Hleb, it probably. I reckon like a pint, and Alex Hleb would just be swaying everywhere. You reckon he's like with his bandy legs and yeah, like 2 pints and he's anyone's. You know. I reckon he'd be that sort of type.
I'm just trying to remember who it was. Oh yes, I do remember. I think I know who this is. I think it's going to be David Hillier is who it's going to be, because I mean, are you aware? Do you know the story about the suitcase?
The story about what? Sorry.
Oh God, this is a fucking amazing story. David Hillier, I don't know how he ended up in this situation, but he was drunk at an airport and ended up basically stealing some businessman's suitcase, which had lots of valuable stuff in it. I don't know. I wish I could recount the ins and the outs of the story. It was a long time ago that I read it, but he got nicked for it. He got in trouble for it. But he was drunk and at an airport for some reason or another. And and he knew that this suitcase wasn't his and ended up stealing this suitcase, or it might have been a briefcase, something like that. It had quite expensive shit in it and stuff like that. Yeah, and just ended up getting nicked for it. Like, you know, I wasn't very clever about it. Didn't even get out of the airport, I don't think.
Quality.
I think, you know, a wild card like that, like Hillier.
That'd be great, yeah. Good shout. Good shout. And Perry Groves would be another good one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I can see him getting smashed. Willock could be a lightweight, says Tony. Saka, I think he would as well. Emery can't handle drinking, says Carrie. He'd be pissed off to one. Yeah, that's probably right. Mind you, he'd be knocking back. Emery would be knocking back the Bloody Marys, wouldn't he? Because it looks like blood. Yeah, it would be funny to see Andre Arsh having pissed. That's an absolutely great show. Who's bringing the birthday cake, says Russ Morgan. I'm going to answer that one quickly. Because he comes from Amsterdam, I'm going to get Dennis Bergkamp to bring the birthday cake.
On the ferry, yeah?
Yeah, on the ferry, of course. Yeah, unless he can get one of those pedalos or something. But yeah, hovercraft a bit quicker.
Yes. Oh God, do you know what? No, I wouldn't even go there. I've got a terrible joke about hovercraft.
Go on then. Go on. You can't say. You obviously can't say something like that and then not say it.
Well, I think I've ruined it already. Not only that, I can't really remember it. So.
Oh, don't then. If you get the ending wrong, it's nothing worse, is it?
Blimey. That was an interesting 20 seconds, wasn't
it? No, go on. You've got to do it. Go on.
No. Oh God. No. I've forgotten it. I've completely forgotten it. Sorry. I'm really sorry.
Have we got any more categories? Let's think. Right. We've got a top table, like you have. Say it's like a wedding type thing. You've got a top table.
Yeah.
You've got the bride and groom. I know it's not a wedding, but it's a bride and groom. Then the parents, the two dads. So
let's say
six. Let's just say six. You've got six at the top table.
Mate, rule of six.
Who's going to be at the top?
More than six anyway
now. So these are the people that you'd want to have on your table.
You take one. You take one space. So you've got 5 more to choose from.
Yeah. You're doing it as well, right?
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
My first one. I mean, there's only one person I just want to sit and talk to for hours, and that's Arsene. I could just talk to that man for hours on end.
Agreed. 100%.
Number 2. Number 2. For the stories again, because of the behind the scenes, and it's got to be Ken Fryer. He's been at the club for 70 years. He's not. I mean, he's been there since the days of Herbert Chapman, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So what he hasn't seen is not worth knowing. So he's got to have so many stories. So yeah, I'd have to have him as well. And 100% Carrie. Well, I mean, I'm actually quite angry with myself, Carrie, that I didn't think of him straight away. Arteta. 100%. Yeah, I'd want to chat to Arteta. And then I presume, of course, we're doing Live or Dead, aren't we? We agreed that earlier.
Yeah,
David Rocastle, my favourite. Yeah. David Rocastle, and because they would bump off each other so well, Ian Wright.
I was going to have Righty.
You can have the same. That's right.
All right, well, I'm going to try and keep it as different as I can.
3. I've only had 5, actually, I think, haven't I? Wenger, Ken Fryer, Arteta, Rocky Righty, and I'll hold on to my last one, and just because I don't want to waste it. So you carry on with yours.
Law, mate. You'd be breaking the law anyway, mate. You're only allowed 6 of you together.
Oh, of course, I'm the 6th. Yes, that's right. Okay, that's fine.
You're breaking the law, mate. You wouldn't. I wouldn't want you to get into any trouble.
No, that's fine. The last thing I ever want to do is get on your bad side, Captain Chapman.
I'm not sure I have a bad side.
No, it's the same here. Same here.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to do right. Okay. So I'm sorry, but I have to go with the prof as well. You can't not, can you? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
So secondly, I'm going to go with my namesake, Mr. Herbert Chapman. I've no idea what sort of a man he was really, and I think I'd like to find out a little bit about the man. That really was the first guy to take us to proper glory.
He's a revolutionist. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we've gone with okay. I'm sorry, but I need to have Wright as well. I've never met Ian Wright, but me neither.
I have sort of. because he used to drive past the hotel I used to work in pretty much every 2 or 3 days. And if I was out there at the right time, I would see him quite often and shout to him, and he'd wave back at me. But I haven't stood there and been able to talk to him. But I've been in his acquaintance, shall we say, a few times.
He's just the boy, isn't he? I love him. You know, he is the essence of everything Arsenal. You know, he really is quite a great ambassador for the club.
Absolutely, yeah.
So where have I gone? I've gone Mr. Wenger, Mr. Chapman, and actually just hearing some conversations between those guys would be pretty decent. So I've gone with righty. Now I love attacking football. I used to play as an attacker myself. Now I've been sort of umming and ahhing about which one I want to choose, because like my two sort of favourite Arsenal players of all time are Dennis and Thierry, and I think Thierry's just going to edge it, just because he's got that charisma, and do you know what I mean? I think he'd make you, like, when relaying a story or chatting to you, I just feel like he's the sort of person that would bring you in to that story. Right. So I haven't really had a chance to think about a fifth one, so I'm going to see if I can pluck one from the top of my head. I mean, there are some
good. Whilst you have a quick think, I'm just going to go through a couple of these comments. 95 Winston, I'll mention that one about it'd be great to see Andre Arshavin pissed. Who would be the most interesting person you would most like to talk to? I think we answered that one with, or I did. I think you did as well, really, about Monsieur Wenger. Arteta must be there as well, says Carrie. Lee Dixon is a good storyteller as well, she says. That's true. However, if you don't listen to the Handbrake Off podcast, that's by The Athletic, he's on there pretty much most episodes, and he is a good storyteller and he's an intelligent man. But I think he's a very closed-minded man. I think very single-minded. I think he's got his thoughts on something, and I don't think he will budge from them whatsoever. I think he would not be quite open in conversation, shall we say, not open to listening to your opinions. I think he should, no, that's not right. You do it like this. I think he'd be a bit like that, and I think after a little while I'll get a little bit pissed off with him. And that's only my opinion, the way he comes across on that podcast. Russ Morgan, that's a good shout. Says just get the Tuesday Club together. Really good. I mean, again, can you imagine the tales they must have? So yes, carry on.
Number 5. Oh, right. Okay, number 5. I bottled this a little bit because I've had to think about a few of them, but I think number 5, I am going to go with Emmanuel Aboué. I just love him. Like,
I know.
He is just like my kind of person. He is he's a real live wire. You know what I mean?
Those of you who can just butt in just 1 second. I do apologise, but those of you who have been listening throughout the whole show, he's someone we can talk about a little bit in the special show we've got planned coming up as well.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Sure thing. Like he's a real live wire, but he was always very frank, very earnest, like not just in what he said, but what he did on the pitch as well, you know? And I just love him for that. Like he has just such a spirit about him that I think I'd want him on the, you know, I thought I needed to grab someone out of somewhere that wasn't quite so generic as the ones that I picked, and I just think I would love to have Aboué there.
Great shout,
yeah. So I think that's the 5.
I was thinking of someone foreign, so you get some, some different stories from different countries and so on as well. I mean, obviously we've got Wenger and who's there. I don't know whether I had any other foreigners, did I? Funnily enough. Oh yeah, Arteta as well. But yeah, I was thinking of maybe Jens Lehmann or someone like that as well, just for just just to dig a bit deeper. And I think he'd be a really quite interesting, complex person as well. Do you know what I mean? And be quite very. I have to dig a bit deeper because he is a bit of a madman, as well. And I think there's obviously something in there that's going to be really interesting, I reckon. But I don't know. Martin Keown is very single-minded. Said Ross, 100%. Yeah, Bobby Perez.
Doesn't Keown seem to have? I don't know what it is with football pundits, but they seem to have this kind of, like it happened with Lawrenson as well. Like they just seem to be drawn to this kind of constant stream of negativity, and I think Keown's really, really falling into that. Where it's, and I, partly it's because I get it, because like I think that they're so tapped into, okay, like I know my role as analyst and I know it well, that they forget that as well as being an analyst, because you're on the telly, you actually sort of need to be a bit entertaining as well.
You know what? Exactly, and that's why I love Micah Richards as a.
Oh, God,
I think he's so infectious, isn't he?
Yeah,
he obviously knows the sport.
Yeah,
he's totally down to earth, and his laugh is infectious. He literally, listening to his laugh makes me want to laugh, and I love that. It's great.
And if you ever want a chalk, like a real chalk and cheese match as well, like when you've got Richards and Roy Keane next to each other.
Really funny.
The difference is, I think, with Roy Keane is that, like, he has that kind of dourness to him, but that it's still quite entertaining. But I think, I was just going to say, with the likes of Lawrenson and Keown, it just sounds more and more like a moan, like an extended moan, Do
you know what? I think that a lot of the companies that show football matches, I think we should move away from being fixated on getting ex-players as the pundits and the co-commentators, because there's so many really good, knowledgeable people out there that never played the game professionally, but people like that are fantastic analysts. Like a lot of the people that work for, the Athletic, for example, like Amy Lawrence. I could listen to her all day. She's great, and such a massively in-depth knowledge on football. People like Michael Cox who write, and a lot of the guests that are on things like the Totally Football Show, don't you ever listen to that? And I just think that there's so many guests on that are really entertaining and so intelligent, about football. Do such a better job than a lot of these ex-footballers who are just stuck up their own arse most of the time.
Well, I think it's about, like, it's a very popular game, and everybody is gonna have a take on it. So if I think the more diverse the takes that you have, the richer your experience is going to be when it comes to kind of like understanding or analyzing the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I thought it'd be so much more interesting if they, alongside the presenter of the program, then you've got an ex-player, and then you've got someone else, like, I don't know, like a Michael Cox or something. I'd love on sitting on telly is Clive Palmer from the Arsenal Vision podcast.
You all love Clive, right?
Absolutely. I love the way his passion for the game in his voice is just incredible, isn't it?
It's funny. I was thinking about the Arsenal Vision podcast guys as like body parts the other day. So you've got
Oh yeah, I mean, as we all do, it's not exactly uncommon, is it? I mean,
so you've got
God, everyone.
you've got Paul, who is Paul Pos, who is like the funny bone, if you like, the humorous. You've got Clive. Sorry, you've got Tim, who is like the brain. You've got Clive, who is the heart, and Elliot, who is obviously the mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I mean, Elliot. I know he's. Yeah, I know Elliot's. Just quickly, I know Elliot's that. I don't know. I presume he's Marmite. I don't know, but I really like Elliot. I think he's got a really good sense of humor.
Elliot. Oh yeah.
He's actually the way. I agree with nearly everything really that Clive says. I don't agree with maybe a half of what Elliot says, but he's always puts his point down very, very well. He knows more about the game than you think, and I think he's quite entertaining. Anyway, I think they do a great job on that podcast.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, absolutely. So here's a question. That's coming from Carrie Tannen. Would you let AFTV into your party?
I wouldn't. I mean, they'd be able to interview people out on the front lawn, wouldn't they?
They what?
No, let people just be out the front interviewing people on the concourse or out the front garden.
Yeah,
that's fine. Do what they want. Who would miss the party? Says Russ. I think. Stan or Josh Kroenke. They're absent, aren't they?
Good shout.
Yeah. And Winston said this. Per Mertesacker could be a great conversation with him. I did think of Per Mertesacker when I said about Lehman as well, because he's. I need to read his book. I think his book's got really good reviews actually. Per Mertesacker, and he's a really intelligent guy, isn't he? And yeah, he's got a really interesting backstory. So I think he would be a good one to talk to, because can you imagine the quality players he's played with through the years as well for club and country, over 100 caps, and yeah, it'd be a good one. Have we got any other ones? Would you invite AFTV?
Sorry,
you haven't. You answer the AFTV question.
Oh, would I let AFTV into the party? Oh, no, not really. I don't. To be honest with you, I don't find most of the characters on that channel. I don't find most of them very conducive, really.
I've never watched it.
I have seen a few of them. I'm not going to lie, but I mean, the one person that absolutely should never be allowed in is Lee Gunner, isn't it? Because he is the most awful. I mean, I think all of you Gooners are going to have to are probably going to agree with this, but what is the point of just going in there and saying how crap you supposedly support are?
I mean, 24/7? I don't even want to give him any airtime, to be honest. I'm sorry, but I don't want to give him absolutely. So I think that's about it. I've got another comment from Russ saying John Jensen would miss it. He missed everything else. I was at the game when he. No, I wasn't actually at the game. Sorry, no, I completely telling a lie there. I was at the next game after he scored, because he scored against QPR, I think, and I got a T-shirt. Now, what's that? I'm getting confused now myself. I'm getting a bit senile at my old age. I'm sure it was that, because I've got a T-shirt that said I saw John Jensen score. I'm sure I was there. Yeah, I think I'm getting a bit demented, but yeah. Do you know what? Bless him. He would actually be quite an interesting one to add there and chat to as well, because what must have been going through his mind week after week after week. We bought him on the back of that long-range goal he scored for Denmark, and he tried his arse off, didn't he? And he looks like a character out the Fast Show or something, didn't he? And,
Again, an interesting Barnet, I will say.
Oh, very much so. He looked like the stereotypical Scouser, didn't he? With the moustache as well. Calm down. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, Anders Limpar as well. I'd love Anders Limpar. I'm not so sure it'd be bursting with personality or anything, but I'd love that bloke. I don't know where I got to him from, but I think it must have just been a Scandinavian connection with John Jensen. Maybe it came into my head.
Oh, absolutely.
But anyway, so we've been going for what, 1 hour 42 minutes. I think we'll just start wrapping it up then, shall we? I think
all right, my friend. Yeah, why
really
not?
enjoyed, considering we had no material whatsoever. I think that really
literally did a single thing. I literally wrote 7 words. That's not so bad, is it?
I'm just going to think of one last quick-fire category. Who would be the first person that would throw up in the fireplace?
Ooh.
Russ said, who would you?
First person to throw up in the fireplace would be, let's go with, it would, I'm really, I don't know if this is in poor taste, but I think it probably, if he was still struggling, I think it probably would be Tony Adams, wouldn't it? It probably would be Tony.
Yeah, you can see him doing that. I can see him throwing up. They're definitely all over the place.
He wouldn't be proud of it. He wouldn't be proud. In fact, he'd be really upset, actually, I think.
I think Russ has answered Ray Parlour for near enough everything, isn't you, Russ? But yeah, it's a good shot. Actually, I can see Perry Groves barfing up as well all over the place.
True. Oh no, I know who it would be. It would be Sanchez's dog. Or dogs.
Yeah, could well be.
He'd be the first buffet, and delicate palates would not have dealt very well with it. Sanchez's dogs. Yeah, I'm going with that one.
I think Sanchez would be the first one to tinkle the old ivories as well, wouldn't he?
Yeah, of course. Hey,
he's at my brand. He's at my brand. And last one, who would you give the bumps to? Said Russ. I think it's going to be Wenger. I could just see his little smiling face. Wenger, like, ooh, as he's being thrown in the air.
Who would give you the bumps? I think. Who would give you the bumps? You.
Yes, sorry, I've misread that. I haven't got my reading glasses on. Who would you? How many are we saying? 4? So 1 on each limb, are we? Definitely not Sol Campbell. He'd probably throw me through. He'd literally throw me into the roof, wouldn't he? Like the ceiling and smash my nose. He'd be so strong. Santi Cazorla.
He'd be laughing.
Cesc Fabregas. Eboué again.
Yes.
And Quincy Owusu-Abe.
Would he be spitting some 16s whilst he did it?
He'd be spitting some sick bars whilst he was doing it.
That's very nice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, exactly. No many are poison. No many are, what's that? Don't get that one. Do you know what that means?
There might have been a reference to the dogs, perhaps. I don't know.
Oh yes, of course, maybe. Yeah.
Who knows?
Now, if it was Sol Campbell and Patrick Vieira, Russ, literally, they'll throw you so hard because they're so big and strong. Literally, you'd hit the ceiling and probably
and they do
risk of injury. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll say thank you ever so much for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, they would go injured. Ramsey, Eduardo, or Diaz. Definitely, they would get injured doing it. 100%, Russ. Thanks ever so much for everyone that's been joining in. Thanks. James has just jumped in. Thank you, James. Please watch it back. Can everyone give us a like before you on your way out of the chat, please? Yeah, give us a like and just share it around. That'd be really appreciated. Need to get the viewership up and stop this great channel, in my opinion, from being such a well-kept secret on YouTube.
Great channel.
Now, as I said earlier, any latecomers, I'm really happy to say that Chappers is the new sort of permanent co-host of the channel. So I think we can all agree that that's a really good boost for us, and it's going to be great going forward, and it'd be great to share ideas moving forward. If anyone else has got any ideas of shows they want us to do, any themes, just get involved. Anyone is welcome. Anyone is welcome to come and join us on the panel on the show as well. Just drop me your Chappers a DM on Twitter and just say, hey, I'd like to come on one day. And all welcome. I swear, anyone from around the world, Gooners across the Gooniverse, just come on. This is a channel. It's a very easygoing channel. We like to have a bit of fun. As you can tell, we're very different to everyone else, and we like to have different ideas.
Tony Turner wants 2 hours about hair, and I'm totally down for that. Ironically, my Barnet has been terrible tonight, and I think actually what we need to do first of all is start having a look at what I can do with this Barnet.
I'm really jealous. I mean, I might just start just leaving everything. I mean, just let everything grow wild.
Secrets, mate. It's you're just keeping it secret. That's all you're doing.
I mean, I've just got a receding hairline. That was all. And I just thought, no, and I've just shaved it off for years now. So, but my hair goes a little bit wavy when it gets long, and I hated it when I was younger. Hated it. Took me ages to do anything with it. But Tony said, mention Chambers as flowing locks. I think he looked wicked. He looks like a Viking.
Tony mentioned that he looked like a sort of full-size Tyrion Lannister, which I thought was about right.
Absolutely. Yes, that's a very good point, actually. Yeah. Russ, if you ever need me on, let me know. Honestly, send me a DM, Russ, and we'll get it arranged. You can come on anytime you like. Same goes for all of you. Tony, I know you've been on before as well. 95 Winston, thank you ever so much for joining us again. Really appreciate it. I know that you're always in the chat box, and you're more than welcome to come on anytime as well. James, you were on last week. Fantastic to get you back on. I come early, sadly. That's why I'm single, he said. Happy birthday, Andrew. Take care. Thanks, Chappers. Russ, thank you ever so much. Much appreciated. Happy birthday. Thanks, Tony. Thanks, James, as well. And everyone else. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Carrie Tannerton, thank you ever so much for joining us as well. Really appreciate all of you. Give us a like on your way out, as I say, and share it around with your friends. There's always, after every show, an audio version for people that ain't got time to sit there and watch the video. There's an audio version of each show that goes out on all of the main platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., etc., etc. And give us a review on there as well, because the same as the likes on YouTube, the reviews bump you up the ratings and rankings and get you noticed by people, and that's just the aim of the game. From now on, just try and get a bit more of a viewership and listenership. That would be really helpful, because we don't charge. Nothing, do we? Nothing. We don't charge you nothing, and it costs me about 500 quid a year minimum just to host the channel and everything like that. So just to give me a little bit back in terms of likes and reviews and sharing, that'd be fantastic.
And all I want to do is be able to just get one more pair of sunglasses. That's all I want. You know,
well, you ain't going to get it from this show. You ain't going to earn nothing. So you have to go and buy it yourself.
Who knows, mate? Who knows? Aim high. That's what I'm saying.
We might get sponsorship on Manscaped.
It's happening. It's happening, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you ever so much, and we will see you again next week. But we are going to organise like I said, an extra one-off show, where we can be a bit more serious just for once. But I think it's very important because something that's close to both of our hearts, and I'm sure a hell of a lot more you out there that are listening to and watching this, which is mental health, anxiety, suffering with that in this day and age more than ever. And we're going to come back with a special show to talk about that and open up a little bit in the next few days. So keep posted, hit the notification button on the YouTube channel, and you'll always be notified when we go live. So thanks ever so much, and I will speak to you.
Hey man, are we out? We still
Hang on, no, not yet.
Thanks again for listening, and thanks for all your birthday wishes on Twitter. Really means a lot to me. As a little extra birthday gift, I'm leaving you with the song that I was talking about on the show, Wasted by Hybrid Minds. I really hope you like it. See you next week.
In his first season becomes the first player to not only captain but now manage Arsenal to an FA Cup victory.
I want to tell you what I talk to the lads about every day. What it means to be part of our family.
You listening, bro? Yeah, man. You listening?
A strong family.
That's mine.
First, there is the non-negotiables. Respect, humility, belief. And it's okay to get angry, to raise our voices, as long as it comes from the right place. And even though family can hurt us like nobody else, remember, they are the ones who raise us up. When people come to our house, try to divide us, because they know our family and what our shirt means.
What else for life?
Let them know we can't be divided.
Best striker in the league, come on!
And it will take all of us together, because we know where we belong. So when the challenges come, you will tell them.
This is family.
This is family.
This is family.
This is family.
This is Arsenal.